Hey Sagittarius! So I just sat down with my deck, and honestly, the energy coming through for you right now is something I need to share because 2026 is literally about to hand you something that is going to change everything. And I mean everything about how you see yourself and your path forward. I shuffled the cards, thinking about what this year has in store for you. And the first card that came out made me actually pause because this is not subtle energy at all. The King of Cups appeared, and I have to tell you something about this card that most people do not realize. When this king shows up at the beginning of a reading about your year ahead, it is telling you that you are stepping into a level of emotional mastery that you have been building toward for a really long time. This is not about becoming softer or more sensitive in the way people might think. This is about you finally understanding how to hold your emotions, like someone who has learned to hold fire without getting burned. You know those moments when you have felt too much and it has overwhelmed you, or when you have shut down completely because feeling anything seemed too risky? That version of you is completing a cycle. The King of Cups sits on his throne in the middle of turbulent waters, but he does not get swept away. He has learned something that you are about to learn on a deeper level, which is that emotional depth is not a weakness. It is actually your greatest source of power and wisdom. In 2026, you are going to find yourself in situations where other people are losing their minds, and you are going to be the one who stays centered. Not because you do not care, but because you have finally figured out how to care deeply without losing yourself in the process. This king also talks about creative and intuitive gifts rising to the surface. If you have been feeling like there is something inside you that wants to be expressed, but you have not known how, or you have been afraid of what people might think, this year is when that dam breaks. You are going to trust your inner voice in a way that feels almost radical compared to how you have operated before. The King of Cups is also about becoming someone others turn to for guidance. And I am seeing that you are going to step into a role where people seek you out, not because you have all the answers, but because you have learned how to hold space for complexity and contradiction. You are becoming someone who can say, I do not know, and that is okay, and that kind of honesty is magnetic. The next card that appeared is the Page of Cups, and this is where things get really interesting, because this card is showing me that even though you are stepping into this mature emotional mastery, there is also this beautiful childlike wonder that is coming back into your life. You know how when we grow up, we tend to lose that sense of magic and possibility? We start seeing the world through this lens of what is practical and what makes sense, and we forget how to dream in that pure, unfiltered way that children dream. The Page of Cups is telling me that 2026 is bringing back that sense of wonder, but you get to experience it with the wisdom you have now. This is someone who receives messages from the universe and actually pays attention to them. Have you been having dreams lately that feel significant? Have you been noticing synchronicities or moments where something just clicks in a way that feels almost too perfect to be coincidence? That is this energy starting to activate. The Page of Cups often shows up when creative projects are about to take off or when a new emotional connection is forming. And what I love about this card in your reading is that it is telling me you are going to approach whatever is coming with fresh eyes. You are not going to bring old baggage or old patterns into this new chapter. There is something about 2026 that is going to make you feel young again in the best possible way. Not immature, but genuinely excited about life in a way that maybe you have not felt in a while. This page is also about trusting your intuition, even when it does not make logical sense. You are going to get hunches and gut feelings that tell you to go left when everyone else is going right. And if you follow those instincts, you are going to end up exactly where you need to be. The Page of Cups can also indicate news or messages coming to you through unexpected channels. Someone might reach out to you out of nowhere with an opportunity, or you might stumble across information that completely shifts your perspective. Stay open to receiving. Stay curious. Let yourself be surprised by what shows up. Then I pulled the Nine of Swords, and I know this card can look scary when you first see it, but hear me out. Because what this card is actually showing me is not what is coming in your future, but what you are finally releasing. The Nine of Swords is about anxiety, worry, those 3 in the morning wake-up moments where your mind spirals and convinces you that everything is falling apart. This card appearing in this reading is showing me that you have been carrying a lot of mental weight. You have been worrying about things that might happen. You have been replaying situations from the past and wondering if you made the right choices. You have been losing sleep over scenarios that exist only in your mind. Here is what the cards are telling me, though. In 2026, you are going to have a breakthrough moment where you realize that 90% of what you have been worried about either never happens, or if it does happen, it is nowhere near as devastating as you imagined. You are going to learn how to interrupt the worry cycle. You are going to develop tools and practices that help you get out of your head and back into your body and your life. The Nine of Swords is also showing me that some of the anxiety you have been feeling is actually intuition, trying to get your attention, but it is getting distorted through the lens of fear. You have been sensing that big changes are coming, and part of you has been interpreting that as danger, when really it is just transformation. Once you start to distinguish between actual intuition and fear-based thinking, everything shifts. You are going to sleep better. You are going to breathe easier. You are going to stop catastrophizing and start trusting that you can handle whatever comes. This card in this position is almost like the universe saying, I see how hard you have been on yourself, and I am giving you permission to put that burden down. You do not have to figure everything out right now. You do not have to have a perfect plan. You just have to show up and trust the process. The Ace of Pentacles came through next, and okay, now we are talking about tangible real-world manifestation, because this ace is literally the seed of material abundance and opportunity. When an ace appears, it is always a new beginning, and with pentacles we are talking about money, career, health, physical resources, things you can touch and see and build. This card is telling me that 2026 is bringing you an opportunity that has serious long-term potential. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme or some flash-in-the-pan idea. This is something solid and real that, if you nurture it properly, could provide security and abundance for years to come. For some of you, this might be a job offer or a promotion. For others, it could be a business idea that finally takes off. For some of you, this might be about investing in your health or your home or your education in a way that pays dividends down the line. What I love about the Ace of Pentacles is that it is asking you to think about what you are planting right now, because whatever seeds you put in the ground in the first part of 2026 are going to grow into something substantial. This ace also talks about getting back in touch with the physical world. If you have been living too much in your head or spending all your time in digital spaces, this card is inviting you to get your hands dirty. Garden if that calls to you. Cook real food. Move your body. Create something tangible. There is magic in working with the material world, and the Ace of Pentacles is reminding you of that. This card can also indicate receiving money or resources from an unexpected source. Maybe you get a bonus you were not expecting, or maybe someone offers to invest in your idea, or maybe you discover a talent you did not know you had that people are willing to pay for. Stay alert to opportunities. Say yes to things that feel aligned, even if they scare you a little bit. The Ace of Pentacles is a green light from the universe. Next up, I pulled the Hanged Man. And this is where the reading gets deep, because this card is about surrender and seeing things from a completely different perspective. The Hanged Man is suspended upside down, and from that position, everything looks different. What was up is now down. What seemed important suddenly seems trivial. What you thought you wanted, you realize was never really yours to begin with. In 2026, you are going to go through a period where you have to let go of control and trust that the pause you are experiencing is actually productive. This might feel frustrating, especially for you, Sagittarius, because you like to move and explore and keep things dynamic. But the Hanged Man is saying that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing. Sometimes you have to hang in suspension and let the transformation happen beneath the surface before you are ready to move forward. This card often appears when we are between chapters. You are no longer who you were, but you are not yet who you are becoming, and that in-between space can feel uncomfortable. You might feel stuck. You might feel like everyone else is moving forward while you are frozen in place. But what is actually happening is that you are being rewired. Your perspective is shifting. Your priorities are reorganizing themselves. And when you finally do move again, you are going to move in a direction that is so much more aligned with your true self that you will understand why the pause was necessary. The Hanged Man also asks you to question your assumptions. What if everything you thought you knew about success or happiness or love was based on someone else's definition? What if you have been chasing things that do not actually fulfill you? This card is giving you permission to opt out of the rat race and define success on your own terms. It is giving you permission to be weird and unconventional and to choose the path that makes sense to you, even if it makes no sense to anyone else. Then, the Emperor showed up, and this is powerful because the Emperor is all about structure, authority, discipline, and taking charge of your domain. After the surrender of the Hanged Man, you are being asked to step into a leadership role. You are being asked to build something that lasts. The Emperor does not mess around. He creates systems and boundaries. He takes responsibility. He makes decisions and stands by them. In 2026, you are going to be called to embody this energy in some area of your life. Maybe you are going to start your own business and you need to create structure around it. Maybe you are going to step into a management role and you need to learn how to lead effectively. Maybe you are going to establish boundaries in your relationships that you should have set a long time ago. The Emperor is about self-mastery and self-discipline. It is about doing what needs to be done, even when you do not feel like doing it. It is about showing up consistently. It is about being the kind of person others can rely on, because you have learned how to rely on yourself. This card can also talk about father energy or masculine energy in your life. Maybe you are healing your relationship with authority figures. Maybe you are becoming the father figure or mentor to someone else. Maybe you are balancing the masculine and feminine within yourself in a new way. The Emperor also reminds you that you have the power to create the life you want, but it requires intentional action. You cannot just dream about it. You have to build it brick by brick. You have to make a plan and execute it. You have to be willing to do the hard, boring work that nobody sees. But when you do that work, the results are undeniable. The Emperor builds empires that stand the test of time. The World card came out next, and I actually got chills when this one appeared, because the World is the final card of the major arcana, and it represents completion, fulfillment, integration, and achieving a major life goal. When the World shows up in a reading about the year ahead, it is telling you that something you have been working toward for a long time is finally going to come full circle. You are going to reach a milestone that proves to you that all the effort was worth it. All the setbacks and detours and moments of doubt were leading you here. The World is about mastery. You have learned the lessons. You have done the work. You have integrated all the different parts of yourself, and now you are operating as a whole person. This card often appears when we are about to travel or when we are expanding our horizons in a significant way. For you, Sagittarius, that makes perfect sense because your sign is literally the sign of the traveler and the philosopher. In 2026, you might literally travel somewhere that changes your perspective, or you might experience a mental and spiritual expansion that feels just as significant as physical travel. The World is also about recognition. People are going to see you and acknowledge your gifts. You are going to receive validation for something you have been building. This might come in the form of awards or promotions, or simply people telling you that you have made an impact on their lives. Whatever form it takes, you are going to feel seen in a way that is deeply satisfying. The World also indicates that you are completing a major chapter and preparing for a new cycle. There is a sense of graduation happening. You are leveling up. And once you step through this doorway, there is no going back to who you were before. The Empress appeared next, and this card is overflowing with creative, fertile, abundant energy. The Empress is the ultimate creatrix. She births things into being. She nurtures growth. She is connected to the earth and the cycles of nature, and she knows that abundance is not something you chase, it is something you cultivate. In 2026, you are entering a phase of major creativity and productivity. Ideas are going to flow through you. Projects that have been stuck are suddenly going to start moving. If you have been trying to bring something into form, whether that is a creative project or a business, or even a baby, this is your year. The Empress energy is saying that the conditions are ripe, the soil is fertile. Plant your seeds and watch them grow. This card is also about self-care and honoring your physical body. The Empress does not push through exhaustion. She does not ignore her needs. She understands that in order to create, you have to be resourced. So this is your reminder to eat well, sleep well, move your body in ways that feel good, and give yourself permission to rest when you need to rest. The Empress also talks about beauty and pleasure, and surrounding yourself with things that delight your senses. This might be the year you finally decorate your space in a way that feels beautiful to you, or you start dressing in a way that expresses your personality, or you allow yourself to enjoy life instead of just grinding all the time. The Empress is also deeply connected to the feminine principle, which is about receptivity and intuition, and allowing rather than forcing. You do not have to make everything happen through sheer willpower. Sometimes you just have to create the conditions and then allow things to unfold naturally. The star came through, and honestly, this card makes me emotional because the star is hope. The star is healing. The star appears after the tower when everything has fallen apart, and you are sitting in the rubble, wondering if you will ever feel okay again. And the star says, yes, you will not only feel okay, you will feel more whole than you have ever felt. The star is about renewal and faith and trusting that even when you cannot see the path forward, there is a path forward. In 2026, you are going to experience moments of profound healing. Old wounds that you thought would never close are going to close. Parts of yourself that you had given up on are going to come back to life. You are going to feel hopeful about the future in a way that is not naive or based on denial, but based on a deep knowing that you are exactly where you need to be. The star is also about sharing your gifts with the world. You have something unique to offer, and this year you are going to step into that more fully. You are going to let your light shine without dimming it to make other people comfortable. The star often shows up when we are being called to a spiritual path, or when we are deepening our connection to something larger than ourselves. You might find yourself drawn to meditation or yoga or astrology, or any practice that helps you feel connected to the divine. You might start having spiritual experiences that confirm for you that there is more to reality than what we can see with our eyes. The star is also about community and finding your people. You are going to connect with others who are on a similar wavelength, and those connections are going to nourish you in ways you did not know you needed. The final card I pulled is the Empress showing up again, but this time in a different position, and this repetition is significant because it is emphasizing just how important this creative, abundant, nurturing energy is for you in 2026. Actually, wait, let me check my cards again because I want to make sure I am reading this correctly. Oh, I see now. The final card is actually another major card. It is reinforcing that this is a year of major life themes and big archetypal energy moving through your life. You are not dealing with small stuff this year, Sagittarius. You are dealing with life-changing energy. Everything that is happening in 2026 is setting you up for the next decade of your life. The decisions you make, the risks you take, the seeds you plant, they are all going to shape your reality in profound ways. So treat this year with the reverence it deserves. Pay attention, stay present, trust yourself. And know that you are being supported by forces seen and unseen as you step into this new chapter. So let me bring this all together for you. This reading is showing me that 2026 is a year of emotional mastery, creative explosion, mental breakthrough, material manifestation, and spiritual renewal for you. You are completing old cycles and beginning new ones. You are healing old wounds and stepping into your power. You are being asked to surrender and to take charge. You are being invited to dream like a child and to build like an emperor. This is a year where everything is possible if you are willing to show up fully and trust the process. The universe is handing you a gift, Sagittarius, and that gift is the opportunity to become who you were always meant to be. Not who someone else told you to be, not who you thought you should be, but who you actually are at your core when you strip away all the conditioning and the fear and the doubt. That person is magnificent, and 2026 is the year that person finally gets to take center stage. I am genuinely excited for you. I feel like I just got to witness the blueprint of your transformation, and it is beautiful. Trust what is unfolding. Trust yourself. And remember that even when things feel uncertain or scary, you are always being guided toward your highest good.